Isaiah.
Josh.
Jarius.
So, fellas, what do y'all think love is?
Good old love. Good old love is an action word. Been reading all about it.
What you been reading? I know. They don't know.
So I've been reading the 5 love languages, not only of the children, not only of relationships, but of children too.
Very good.
That's it.
Okay.
Very good.
So what do you think? So love is action. Love is
definitely.
action.
Love is action for sure.
Got you. I also think love is an action. I think love is something that you're born with. Everybody's born with the capability to love. Now, whether we choose to do that or not, that's kind of a personal decision that we got to make. But I feel like it's one of them things like, you're born living, you're born breathing, you're born knowing how to cry, you're born knowing how to love. So
So it's a feeling as well.
it's a feeling as well. Yeah.
So it's an action and a feeling. Because I personally know that, like, when someone loves me, I can feel it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if somebody don't love me or, like, it's fake love, I'm like, I can feel that, and I'm all set. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, it's an action and a feeling.
I would agree. Definitely an action and a feeling. I also think, like you said, Isaiah, we're born with it, but I also think the growth from love is like a learned behavior thing too, though, because we all have a certain amount of it, but you don't knowing how much of it to access comes from experience. So I would say, I don't know how you put that in words, like action being a learned thing, or like over a length of time. I guess your capacity for, I think a capacity for love grows.
Yeah.
And
So
that's where the action comes from.
Right.
You
gotta put the experience in there.
Yeah.
So I would say love is definitely an action, and love is an entire experience, because you have to go through some things
You do.
to experience different amounts of love. So that's nice.
Different types of love.
Yeah. Come on.
Very good. So really, I agree with everything everyone has said. I believe love, in accordance to what y'all saying, of course, love is patient. Love is kind. And of course, God is love. And I think, I guess the best way I try to model like what is love to me is just modeling, of course, how Jesus loves us, how we love each other as brothers, how you love your family, how you love your spouse, knowing the differences between that. And of course, Isaiah has a spouse. I know we working on it, but I know really, yeah, I think love is an action. It's definitely a feeling. And I think love for everybody is different. Love for everybody is completely different. Some people experience love extremely early, extremely fast. Some people don't really say I love you till they, a year in. So sometimes it's just different. So that's what I believe it is.
And it feels different too. Like some people like, tough love as opposed to like, that compassionate love.
Right.
Right. Like, because my family is definitely like a compassionate, like, sincere, like lovey-dovey love. But other families are like tough love.
Hardly say it. Like
hardly say it, but
some of y'all didn't hear from your dad, and then some of y'all did. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, but it's love either way it goes.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's deep.
That's tough.
That's deep.
So
it matters how you accept love.
That's good. Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah. Back to the 5 love languages. That's why that book is awesome.
Yeah. So to kind of branch off of that, like I have been reading, like I said, and every day that I wake up now after reading that book, like I'm like, all right, so how do I get my love tank full? Because it talks about love tanks,
right?
And like it's also like, how can I fill someone else's love tank? How can I like help somebody else and and love them where they're at?
Right. Yeah. Where they're at, because that's also a tangent too, because sometimes you have, whether or not your tank of love is complete at that moment, or you feel engulfed in a certain type of love, whether it's your companionship or your brother or sister or whatever, your siblings, you have to operate with that other person that you're trying to love based on that too. Or you can just give you can just give everything. Because love also too, with it being an action, I think when it's give and take, I don't think we should measure that. I think we should just do. Mm-hmm. And then if it's reciprocated, cool. If it's not, receive that too and operate accordingly. But we have to be careful with that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, our love tank can be on 100 and someone else's can be on 45. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're giving that other percentage to them and you're not getting it reciprocated, you know what I'm saying? That's tough. You know what I'm saying? Like you said earlier, you know, just about you can feel when you're being loved back the same way you're giving it, and you can also feel when you're not. Mm-hmm. And just because we're here on this subject, as a guy, leading the relationship, putting our love into who we're dating or who we're talking to or whatever the case may be, you're looking for that to be returned back to you, especially the guys that's sitting here at this table, because we're not the guys that's just like trying to, you know, see what's good, like, you know, on some, I'm gonna be out tomorrow.
I'm single. I'm trying to see what's good.
He's trying to see what's good. Everybody up, but
what God say? Be what?
Fruitful and multiply.
And,
that was with your wife, though. You read the wrong part of the text.
No.
Yeah, you skipped that part.
I skipped all that because
I'm single.
I'm single. No, I'm playing.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's terrible.
That is terrible.
No. I was just listening to y'all.
Man. So yeah, that's love.
That's love right there too. Listening. See?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Woo. Love is everything, man. Love is everything. Love is a feeling. Love is an action. Love is a verb, a noun, an adjective. It's everything.
It really is.
Yeah,
I feel love in this room right now.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Very good. How do we approach relationships as a man from the beginning?
My God.
Well, in Genesis.
Oh, wow.
From the beginning.
How did God?
From the beginning.
In the beginning.
Right.
The beginning.
Well, there was Adam. And Adam did work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's our job to find our work, find our purpose, and then get into a relationship.
That's it. That's it.
You in the book.
Yeah.
But where I'm at though, it's a pandemic, so
so you can come through it anytime.
Anytime.
I've been working
on myself. Amen.
That's work too.
That's good.
That was
good. Say that one more time, bro. A man should find your purpose.
Yeah, the purpose. And
work. And
relationship.
then get into a relationship.
Yeah.
What do you think, sir?
I agree. How I feel like how I approach relationships in the past is different than how I approach my current relationship, my current marriage. In the past, I wasn't really concerned about the future. I was just dating a date. I was, I was really, like, of course, based on like looks, like the physical attraction. That was my main thing. Like that's pretty much where it stopped. And I've always said this, and I'll continue to say it. Like, Tati's the first person that I've considered marriage with. Like every other relationship, I've never considered marriage.
Right.
It's been what it was. Mm-hmm. So I feel like my how I approach my relationships in the past is totally different than how it is now. Because now it's a little more. Approaching Tati was a little more, focused and way more like, direct, because, she the type, she's like, what, well, not that, but like, what are your intentions, like, what are your motives and everything like that. So it's kind of like, gotta have my ducks in a row,
right?
As opposed to past relationship.
And not only ducks in a row, but you better be positive.
Yeah, so that's my approach.
Very good.
Man.
Yeah, that's great.
That's good. Shoot, I'm trying to remember the question.
What's your approach as a man in a relationship?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the place now. I've been dating for a certain amount of time, but approaching the relationship in the beginning, I think, like you brought up, Alex, us knowing what we want before even getting into a relationship changes the whole narrative. If you don't have a point of view, this is just my personal opinion. I always have a pointed view. I know what I want before I get into it. Before even whatever. At that point, I think before even like the current relationship now, I was on the same vibe as you. Just if she look good, the moment's cool, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's great. And you get into it and then you see it's shallow, it's not really anything there. I think the best thing we can do as males is honestly just have exactly what we want. And that doesn't mean necessarily just how a woman looks. I know that I'm just put it out there. I do care how my woman looks. Mm-hmm. Period. Definitely. And that doesn't mean, big or small, like looks and feel like not even just how fine she is, but just how does she look? Does she look like she's in her right mind? Like I care about that, her well-being. Mm-hmm. Like, do you look good? Like you're doing fine. You're not worried. You're not stressed out. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking at, And I know something like at the end of the day, we males, we love the physical thing. Yes, if you got a butt, great. If you look good in a pencil dress, I'm with it. Great. But like on some serious stuff,
it don't stop there.
It don't. Yeah. That substance is what's gonna matter. So the only way for that to matter is us knowing. Like for me personally, just knowing before getting into it. Like I looked from the standpoint of like, okay, I'm not getting married today, but could I see myself marrying her? That's how I'm approaching dating I'm not approaching dating now. I'm dating. You're right. So let's just put that out there. But I think the initial thought is, okay, if I wanted to marry her, if I couldn't marry her, then am I really supposed to be in this thing? And if it's not that, then cool. So I'm approaching it from that standpoint of like, I'm going to be fully committed. But I also will say that I have been on that tip of like, yeah, this is definitely not. I already know I'm not trying to be committed. I'm just trying to see what's up. Knowing the difference between that.
Okay, so how do we approach relationships as a man from the beginning? So of course I'm dating right now, but just like you said, Isaiah, in the past, I think I approached them kind of sort of just on looks at first, and then it's like, okay, looks, and then do they have a good personality? Are they respectful? You know what I'm saying? Are they just an Instagram model type of girl? Or do they actually have, a head on their shoulders? Cool. I think now that I've gotten older, I've tried to approach it, a part of what you said, like great answers from everyone, a part of what you said about, is it something I'm really even trying to be committed in? As I got older, I'm like, yeah. And even being a young man, I still want a committed thing. I don't want a girl who's focused on Instagram, who's focused on being a model, showing off everything. And now I think, with accordance with that, if I'm trying to be committed, if I even see myself marrying them, it's also, like you said, a part of your answer, finding your purpose or finding who you are. Because if you're trying to date to marry, of course, I'm like, God got to be in the midst of all of that, right? Mm-hmm. So my purpose has to be in a little bit of alignment with hers. Because if now we all hear that saying, all the churchy kids, if y'all not equally yoked, right? Yep. Well, if your purpose is here, her purpose is there, and it's not in alignment, then it's like, okay, maybe we not supposed to try to do this thing. And the craziest thing with me, sometimes I haven't always known my exact purpose when I first got in it. Even the relationship I'm in now, I know I do music. I know that's my full, like, of course, my potential at it, and that's what I do for sure. But then it's like sometimes in the relationship, God can even show you what you're really supposed to be doing outside of what your day job is. Mm-hmm. Then that's when you really have to trust God and look at the girl you're with and say, now that I know what I'm supposed to be doing outside of my job, can you still fit? you know. So I guess really, to answer the question, I just try to approach relationships with commitment in mind, leadership in mind, and then also with questions in my head on if she's really gonna fit with my purpose once I find it, once God reveals it, and shoot, even if I'm gonna fit into the purpose that she has in her life, and if we can walk for marriage, if we can walk alongside it, right. Not her behind me or me behind her. Mm-hmm. So that's how I would approach it today.
I have a question for y'all, like, which is random, but you know about the 80-20. Yeah. Like, we talk about that a fair amount. Mm-hmm. What would y'all sacrifice? Like, what would be that 20% that y'all be like, yeah, I mean, she do have this that she's lacking, but I'm still with it.
That's a good question.
That is good.
I know the 80. I know the 80 I want.
Right. Same.
But you know that 20 that I'm willing to live without. Maybe the 20 that I'm willing to live without is maybe that those are the things that like I'm not. Maybe that's my 20. You know, the things that I'm not like comfortable with or confident in. Like, right. I'm cool with sacrificing that because I'm not there yet. You know what I mean? So how can I expect someone else to live up to something that I can't even do yet? Mm-hmm. Off top, that I guess that's mine.
Yeah. Okay, so man, Isaiah gave a great answer about like what you're not like all the way strong in. Honestly, I don't have an answer for that one because I've always thought about just about the 80, and then if they don't have the 20, you know what I'm saying, you know, be strong in the 80. So I've never had to think about like what's the 20. What do you think? Do you have something, Josh or Alex?
Yo, that's the way we should think. Yeah. But like that's tough because everything, I feel like every situation has been different. I would say for me personally right now, I am on that vibe of focusing on the 80, but I will say, like, as far as the 20, one thing I could live without. I could live without the like you spoke about Instagram models. I could live without the body being 100% like an Instagram model or something like that. The reason why in that, because that's a physical attribute, and that's normally what we're attracted to first, and then it becomes everything else. Mm-hmm. But like, I could live without having all of the glam and curves, because at the end of the day, the substance is going to matter. So I would sacrifice all of that for the peace of mind, the peace at home, and for a consistent partnership. Yeah. Because someone who has that 20%, all those curves and everything else, like, that's what they're engulfed in that.
Yeah. Cropping, and the body is going to change.
The body is going to change anyway. So if you attach to the body, you attach to that first thing. But like Isaiah, like you were saying, you're not thinking about long term. Every body is going to change. The woman's body and our body. Yeah. At about 40,
Drew.
Everything. Gravity shifted. Gravity shifted.
Drip, yeah.
Drip. Can't do dripping.
Yeah. And by the way, too, to all the Instagram models, listen, I know some of y'all are great people. So I just want to say before the comments come and like it's an Instagram model, well, I am a good person. Like, I just don't have a vibe. Just know you are a great person. God loves you. Okay, and you look great. All right, it's just we just saying if your head ain't all the way there, we don't want. That's all we say. And I'm in a relationship. He married, so we can't even have you, baby. But the point I'm making is you're a great person. Just don't.
The head ain't right. You can't stay to that. No.
Oh, that's terrible. That could go so many ways.